This is Write What You Know, the storytelling program on Bizz 99.9 FM Substitute Radio. I'm your host, Geoff Walker. Welcome and thank you for joining me. Today, we will be reciting a short story called That Poor Boy. Enjoy the story. Sometimes it sucks being a doctor. When we go to medical school, we get educated on how to talk to patients in a manner that they're most likely to feel comfortable with. This is one case where I've got to put all my training to use. Dr. Datum, your 4 o'clock appointment's here, my secretary says. The Mackenzies? I ask. Yes, she says. Okay, let them in, I say, searching through my papers for the correct file. Certainly, doctor, she says as she left the room. I find the file and begin browsing over it. Oh yes, Billy Mackenzie, that bright, happy boy. Cheerful and happy, 15 years old. So young. Tests have diagnosis confirmed. I found this out yesterday, and it still breaks my heart that it's true. My preliminary diagnosis was correct. The blood test confirmed it. I was right. I hate being right. But as a doctor, my knowledge is measured as being greater when I'm right more often. That poor young boy is going to be suffering his whole life, and there's nothing I can do. He's going to be stuck the way he is for his whole life. What life? His life is ruined, and I'm the one that has to tell him. My stomach is screaming at me. I badly need a drink. Alcohol, water, hydrochloric acid, anything will do. I've got this terrible feeling in my stomach. I think I'm going to be sick. It'll only take 10 minutes. Then I can send them on their way. Then it'll be time to go home. I can go home to Kitty. She'll be so happy to see me. And hungry. I love Kitty so much. The Mackenzies walk in. The husband and father, Robert Mackenzie. The wife and mother, Pauline Mackenzie. Billy Mackenzie. And young 3-year-old Red Mackenzie. I have 3 chairs across my desk for patients to sit. Robert sits in the chair to my left, Pauline to the right, and Billy in the middle. Red is sitting on his mum's lap, playing with one of the toys from the waiting room. Okay, are we ready to begin? I ask. Nobody answered. Are you ready to begin, Billy? I ask, looking at Billy. His 2 parents look at him. He looks very scared. Going to the doctors would be intimidating at the best of times, let alone the worst. Okay, he said in a very nervous tone. Are you sure? Because we don't have to do it this way. You can go home and your parents can tell you, I ask. This is a standard question, but I'm more inclined to ask it. If he takes it, it'll make my job far less stressful. No, I'm okay, Billy says very quietly. Okay then, I say. I open up the file to show him all the data I have. That way it feels as though I have nothing to hide. I've got here the results of your blood test, urine test, DNA test, blood pressure test, and fingerprint test. And judging by the results, I've been able to come up with a conclusion to why you've been behaving so weird lately, I say. Billy is looking so scared. His eyes are watering. His mother is trying to support him by holding his hand. She's trembling as much as he is. Robert is biting his lip. Little Red is daydreaming out the window. I'm afraid the results are not good, Billy. You're a I say. Suddenly my heart is picked at. My whole body is feeling weak. My head is spinning. I had to do it. If he didn't find out now, he's just going to find out as an adult. Billy screams. He's crying badly now. He jumps off the chair and dives into his mother's arms. Mummy, he cries. It's okay, Billy. Everything's going to be okay, she says to him. I wait until Billy calms down. He's still crying, but he can now hear what I say. Is everything all right, Billy? I ask. Uh-huh, he says in a brittle yet dampened voice. He's acting the way he should. I've practically given him a death sentence. Now, Billy, this is a very new disease. The medical community have only known about this disorder for a few years, so we don't know much about it. We don't know how this will affect you in the long term. We don't have any treatments that can help you, and we don't have any support groups because, well, not enough people are suffering from this particular disease yet, I say. Okay, he says. He's trying very hard not to burst into tears. The only thing we do know, Billy, is the short-term situation, and I'm afraid it's very likely that Billy will continue acting this way in the sorts of situations that you told me about. As I said, I don't have any possible medication or treatment techniques to give you because no one has come up with any, I explain. So, he's going to keep acting weird at school and at home? Robert asks. Now, Billy, because you're young, there may be a chance that you can beat this disease, and if you do, then we'd like you to come back so we can do some tests and discover why, so maybe we can help other kids in your situation, I say. We'll do anything we have to, Pauline says. Right, Billy? Billy took a while to answer. He was still badly crying. He finally said, Okay. That's very good, I say. The only other thing I will do is, if it's okay with you, Billy, I'd like to share your file with some of my doctor friends. This will help them learn more about your condition, and maybe me or one of them will find a cure. And when that happens, I'll give you a call. Okay, Billy says, very unsure. Now this is your private file, Billy, so I need your permission so I can share this stuff. If you don't want me to, then I can't, I say, holding out his file in my hand. This helps Billy realize that the file we're talking about has both a symbolic and physical nature to it. Okay, you can do it, he says, trying to smile, but it doesn't happen. Good. Now when you go home, I want you to hug your mum and your dad, tell them you love them, and then you'll go to school. And you need to do the best you can to try to not do those things you do. I know it's impossible for you to not, but I want you to at least say you'll try, I say. Okay, I'll try, he says, wiping the tears away from his eyes. Good, I say. I get up and walk over to the door to let them out. Thank you for telling us, Doctor, Pauline says. She's not the smartest woman, very dumb compared to me. But at least she loves her son, so I'm not going to hold that against her. It's better this way, at least now we know. Thank you for your time, Doctor, Robert says, shaking my hand. He does love his child, but he was brought up in a society where men don't articulate, let alone demonstrate, their affections. So even though he just sat in his chair while his son cried in terror and pain, he wanted to do something, he just didn't know what. Bye, Doctor, Billy said. He didn't want to, but he shook my hand. He's a polite, bright, and gentle young boy. Other than suffering an incurable disease, he's mentally and physically healthy. All that potential going to waste. A bright future closed by the shadows of fate. And little Red, he's the one that'll suffer the most. Welcome back. That was the short story, That Poor Boy. I'm Geoff Walker, and you've been listening to Write What You Know on Bizz 99.9 FM Substitute Radio. Please join me again next time for more fictional short story pieces. Till we meet again, take care and happy writing.